Take one fresh and tender kiss, add some stolen night of bliss. One girl, one boy, some grief, some joy. Memories are made of this. Don't forget a small moonbeam falling lightly with a dream. Your lips and mine, two sips of wine. Memories are made of this. Then at the wedding bells, one house where lovers dwell, three little kids for the flavor. Stare carefully through the days, see how the flavor stays. These are the dreams you will savor. Praises, blessings from above. Serve it generously with love. One man, one wife, one love through life. Memories are made of this. Memories are made of this.
In 1972, when Elton John and I wrote Rocket Man, it became very popular among the listeners. Due to the interest in the meaning of the song, now in 1978 at the Science Fiction Film Awards, I'm truly proud once again to present My Rocket Man as interpreted by our host, William Shatner. Thank you.
And all this science, I don't understand. It's just a job. 5 days a week. Rocket Man. A rocket man. And I think it's going to be a long, long time till touchdown brings me around again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no. No, no, I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning out his fuse out here, alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. The touchdown brings me around again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, 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 I'm a rocket man. Rocket Man, burning out his fuse out here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
Hi, and welcome to the Queen City Chronicles. That is Bill Shatner singing Rocket Man. And if we had Matt Connerton on, who seemingly nobody knows where he is, he's been replaced by a simulacrum, I hear. Hey, Steve Jobs, you know, what a guy. Macintosh, Apple, their software is incredible. Although I think we had a glitch in Jim O'Connell's show. Well, welcome to the Queen City Chronicles. I've been away for a while, and we could talk about Trump, Rocket Man, and North Korea. But don't you think that's pretty boring? I almost got shipped to Korea, South Korea, to the field station there. They were going to make me a staff sergeant, and I was told about the great pleasures of the flesh pots of Seoul. Well, I decided to go to California instead, and I guess that made all the difference, huh? Sure, Shayla Fun. That's where she was. Hey, what about the city election? I would like to talk to you about it and many other things. But, interestingly, for a person that just won a ticket to the Naki S. Loeb School of Communications First Amendment Gala, I don't have full First Amendment rights right now. I am effectively gagged, which is, we are one of the few states that I've lived in that actually allows a slap. Now, what is a slap, you might ask? And I think that is a good question. And then I'm going to have to gag myself because I'm probably going too far. Isn't it interesting? A slap stands for a strategic lawsuit against public participation. A malicious or frivolous lawsuit that chills speech is the slap. The statute employed against it is the anti-slap statute. And the motion under the statute is an anti-slap motion. Now, I've lived in Massachusetts, New York, Oregon, California. They all have anti-slap laws. You just can't sue somebody, a critic, to shut them up. And surprisingly, even Texas, where I was stationed. So what about that election? What about the school board hiring a pro bono lawyer? Well, guess what, folks? In honor of being gagged, if I can find... Oh, here we go, a stopwatch. I am going to take 2 minutes in silence, mourning my lost First Amendment rights, and then we'll go to a subject that's dear to my heart, baseball. Okay, we're going to start 2 minutes, and you probably never thought you'd see John Hopp would shut up for 2 minutes, unless Jim O'Connell was on. Ooh. Boy, that was longer than I thought. Hey, Honorable Joel Elber, if you're out there, call in. We'll talk about Tom Brady. I mean, why not? The Jets actually won a game. Okay, Kirsten, our next segment. weren't supposed to talk about. Hello, Mr. Baseball. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, how are you?
I am hanging on and hanging in there, and yeah. How are you doing? I think you're hanging in and hanging on too.
Yeah, you're right. I'm doing well. You know, just a little
Yes.
problem here and there, but
It's a good thing we have a very understanding engineer slash director to hear all our old man tales.
yeah, well, she's the best.
Yeah. I'm now officially my parents, I guess. They ask me, oh, can you come in at such and such? Well, I've got things both on my phone and my calendar, so I can't give you I got to check.
Yeah.
Mr. Baseball.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever see Jackie Robinson play baseball?
I did in person.
You did?
Yes, and
At a World Series?
yes, the first game of the 1955 World Series, and that's the only game he ever stole home.
He stole home base.
Yeah, and Martin tried it, but he was out for the Yankees.
In that year, the 55 World Series.
Yeah, first game, Yanks won 6-5.
Now, what's unique about that World Series?
Well, the Dodgers won. Brooklyn has-
And the first time they ever won a
First
World
and
Series.
only. First and only World Series they ever won.
Now, was Billy Martin the hero of the 56 World Series, or was the 53?
53.
Where did he steal home in 53?
No, not to my knowledge. He hit 500, knocked in the winning run. And Charlie Justin, who had coached him at Oakland, lit his cigar at the end of the game. That's one thing I remember.
So it was the Brooklyn Dodgers at 53.
Yeah.
Giants 51.
Yes.
Who was 52?
Dodgers again. I mean,
Jeez, if you were in New York, you got the World Series.
oh, it was a Subway Series 51, 52,
50 was the
53.
Phillies.
50
Bobby Shantz, what were they called, the Whiz Kids?
Bobby Shantz was not on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Whiz Kids were 1950.
He wasn't. Bobby Shantz wasn't on.
He was on the Philadelphia Athletics, and then he was on the Yankees.
He's later the Yankees. He was in a World Series. He was only 5'4", and he won the MVP.
Yeah.
I think he won 25 games. Then he opened a donut shop. Or was that Mickey Lolich?
That's Mickey Lolich.
Who'd think that Mickey Lolich would
I think he
wind up owning
I think
a
he
donut
showed
shop?
a few of his donuts.
Hey.
I think he tested them.
Mickey Lolich did what Jim Lonborg couldn't, beat Bob Gibson in the World Series.
Yeah,
And-
2 days rest.
Right, in Game 7, because Bob Gibson had lost the World Series game in 1964, won 7 straight
Yeah.
over on 3 World Series, and then lost Game 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't hit any home runs in the 68 World Series, Bob?
I don't believe he...
Yeah, 'cause
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Red Sox...
Yeah,
no.
he and Lolich both hit a home run.
Now, you know Jackie Robinson.
No, very well.
There is a quote going around on the internet saying, I cannot stand and sing the anthem. I cannot salute the flag. And that's actually a true quote. It's not made up.
Oh, he said that?
After he retired in 56, he became quite a militant when it came to civil rights. He was a Republican, as many African Americans were. And he took a very strong stance.
Well, what he went through is criminal. He should not have gone through what he went through. But he...
Now, he was an Army officer where he was court-martialed for being on a bus with a white woman who was a friend of his. And he actually was. That let him get out early.
Yeah,
He wasn't convicted.
No,
Because,
but he was
but
pretty
it was
much...
amazing that he wasn't convicted. And it let him get out early and
Got it.
play minor league ball.
Yeah,
Or
he-
did he play with the Negro Leagues?
He did that, and then he went to Montreal when the Dodgers signed him.
Okay. And 46, he was in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Right.
Right. 46, he was in Montreal, the Royals.
That's
Don
right, that's
Newcomb
right.
And the great catcher, Roy
Campanella, they were all... Yeah.
who was mixed race, half Italian, half black, but considered black with one drop of blood, you're black,
Yeah.
and in the South. And they were in Nashua, which is B-ball, when you had A, B, C, then D.
Yeah, I met Campy.
Oh, I'd like to have met him.
Yeah, I met him. Unfortunately, he was in a wheelchair at Dodger Stadium, but he used to show up for just about every game.
He never made it to L.A., did he?
No, he was.
The accident was between.
Between seasons. Yeah.
They made a great movie about that in the early 70s.
Did they about Campanella?
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't recall that.
I can't remember what it was called.
He was a great catcher.
But
Compact.
did he deserve 3 MVPs?
Oh, yes.
See, now Bill James, the great sabermetrician, would say no, and neither did Yogi. He said that there was this great prejudice in that time, the 50s, that a team is built up the middle. That's when that became a mantra. Catcher, shortstop,
Second base, and center field, yeah. Up the middle.
Not so much second base. The second baseman won their MVPs, it seems, in the 40s and the 30s, probably. Frankie Frisch was a second baseman, right?
Yes, he was. And Ryan Sandberg, Joe Morgan won 2 at second base.
Well, we're in the 70s, Mr. Baseball. We don't have
Yeah.
you here to talk about the 70s. I can go back to 76 and 5. And humiliate, think of, well,
you're talking
folks,
about the 40s.
1967 World Series. Well, hopefully with the Honorable Joel Elber, who's, I'm sure, at the beach right now. That's why I can't get through to him. And you're invited to celebrate the Impossible Dream pennant. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. How many friggin' how many pennants, let alone World Series of the Yankees? He's looking at me like, I've asked him to come and drink a tub of blood or something.
Why would I wear a Yankee shirt and go to a 67 reception?
It's here. You must remember 67 better than I can.
Oh, I remember it well. I remember
I remember it, but I was 7 years old. I turned 8 afterwards.
Well, I was 27, so...
and you can...
I remember it.
And Joel was a Red Sox fan then.
Was he?
Yes, now that Joel's no longer running for office, it can all come out. And I told him, no insulting the Red Sox. No insulting Brady or the Patriots. And no insulting Donald John Trump. So now he's free.
So he's got a gag order.
Yeah, he got gagged himself. That's politics, folks.
Yeah.
That was in his self-interest. But, so what do you think about this take a knee controversy? I'm going to skedaddle over here a little. You're going to have to adjust the camera.
I have so many mixed emotions on it. I'm a person that feels the right to free speech. Would I do it? Would I do it?
I
No.
do too.
Would
Right,
I do
it is your choice.
Your choice.
I probably wouldn't do it if Tom Brady does it at the next game or something. It doesn't mean he's going to do it every game to show the solidarity. But the guys, and it's solidarity against somebody who is harassing people.
Yeah.
Originally it was to memorialize testimony against what certain players perceive as police violence against African Americans.
Oh, I know.
And now it's become a bigger issue, one of free speech, and one about the president thinking he is the country, thinking he is the Constitution.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in labor law, the NFL and the owners would have the right to stop them and discipline them. In fact, one of the players who's participating last year has never been he's never hired.
Kaepernick?
Right.
No, I know.
Yeah.
There's definitely collusion there.
Right. Because he didn't seem to have any physical problems.
No.
He seems to be a person that has
He had
good
skills.
skills.
Yeah.
So this might be about that, too.
Who knows?
You remember the blacklist, the Hollywood blacklist. Everybody knows about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was much more pernicious than they show in movies where, it's pleasant actors going about their business. And actually, the people that were blacklisted, like the Hollywood 10, they were all communists.
Right.
They kind of downplay that part.
Oh, I know.
And they downplay the part, like Dalton Trumbo was under the discipline of Moscow. But does he give up his free speech rights because of that?
No.
That's a much more interesting question than when, they always portray, I'm just Mr. Innocent and I'm getting done in.
Yeah.
Does somebody give up their free speech rights by being an SOB or not loving their country
No.
or being mad?
No.
Jackie Robinson, the great sports writer Roger Angell, who wrote for The New Yorker, one of the best writers ever, He was an editor at the New Yorker, and he loved baseball, so he started writing pieces. Now he's in the Hall of Fame. He's not. I think they put him in just for his 90th birthday. It's about 91 or 2. He's still with us.
Roger Angel?
Yeah, and he wrote about what it was like in the 50s. At the end, was it his last season 56 or 57? Jackie
56.
56. At the end, Jackie walked. It wasn't much. He walked to the base, and he starts shouting at everybody. And to Angel, everybody's kind of like embarrassed in a way. What's he shouting at? And then it hits Angel that you've asked Jackie Robinson to do too much with too little support.
Oh, yeah. Well, that man went through hell. My God.
So did all the other players that came up.
Oh, yeah. But
The Dodgers were smart. They sent Jackie to Montreal. They sent Nuke and Campy to Nashua and then Montreal. My uncles actually saw them and the great black players the Dodgers did. But I think Cleveland would send their, integrate first the American League.
Yeah, Larry Doby.
Larry Doby got sent to some hellhole in the South, where
then
he's
Satchel
insulted.
Paige came up.
Right, and Satchel Paige had been through everything imaginable to a human being, except levitating on a field in front of an audience of 50,000 people. I mean, what a life, What a spirit.
He was drawing 70,000 people to see him pitch at the old municipal stadium, which held about 80,000.
He was, those players were well known to whites.
Oh, yeah. Well, Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams and several others, they barnstormed, and they said that he was as tough a pitcher as they've ever faced in their careers. So, obviously, Satchel had a lot on the ball.
Yeah, they say he was equivalent to Bob Feller at his best.
I would say Satchel might have been the greatest ever. I didn't see him. I saw him on TV, but I didn't see him.
We don't know.
No, we
there's
don't
no
know.
Films. There's no real records either. The records are also spotty. That's one of the things that, like Ted Williams in his 66 induction speech, who was a very conservative fellow, came out from Negroes, as they were called then, to be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. He stuck up for the leagues and everything and said they should all, go back into the history of the Negro Leagues, like you said, as they were called then, and put many of them into the Hall of Fame, which has happened.
And they were going to put them in a separate wing, like
Right.
an exhibition. And Williams, who was manager then with Washington, said, you're not going to do that. And it's Ted Williams, right?
Right.
This right-wing curmudgeon who, like Richard Nixon, and is in Washington, where he won the Manager of the Year award in 69 or 70 with the Senators. Said, no, it's not going to be like that.
Well, God bless Williams.
Even Bowie Kuhn, I think, was going to do that, but
Yeah,
Bowie Kuhn, who should not be in the Hall of Fame.
That's racism right there. Separate wing.
But we never will know how good Josh Gibson was. How was he as great a catcher as Yogi or Bill Dickey? Was he as great a home run hitter as Babe Ruth? We'll never know. Some people say he hit 84 home runs one season.
Right.
But you'll have other people say, well, it's just exhibition. Even the African-American players say, well, it's just exhibition games. But
he's the only player to ever hit a home run out of Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I know. And it's not the only place that he's hit up. They say he was the Black Babe Ruth, that he was as strong as the Babe.
And he was hurt that he wasn't picked. He kind of resented Robinson for being picked. He thought he should have been.
But he was an alcoholic by then, they said, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in his early 30s.
He tipped the bottle, yes. He played for the Homestead Grays. Yeah,
Branch Rickey, a player at the age of 30 is a liability. He would always trade them.
Yeah.
Always trade them. Now, who was the general manager of the Reds in 1966 who traded Frank Robinson because he was reaching 30? Was it Paul Richards?
I don't know, but he called him an old 30.
Yeah, and he goes on to win the MVP, Triple Crown MVP.
Crown. World Series
in 66, and 3 World Series, 69 to 70. And then he went to L.A. and he still had some stuff.
Yes, he
left.
did. Yeah. He was a great ball player.
589 home runs.
Yeah, great ball player.
Almost 3,000 dingers. Elizabeth Rupp, if you want to know, call in the show. Or better yet, come in. As I tell Liz, we are on air. I say laws we are on air. I think I'm in Los Angeles. Am I there? Come on down. Yes, Liz Rupp won a ticket to the Naki S. Loeb Communications School First Amendment Awards with Garrison Keillor. Joel did too. The Honorable Joel Elber did too. And the missing Matt Connerton.
Yeah. Did you
Matt,
say something about he lost his show or something?
No, they have a computer simulation called Matt. It's a marvel of modern technology. It's radio, so you don't actually have to see him.
Right.
Though they got the little hologram. You know, he has his new band. He was doing a gig. Matt Connerton and the new Prometheans. We have no idea what happened to the old Prometheans. And there was one of those, you know, people just don't learn. What does it mean to be a Promethean? You know, Prometheus stole fire. There was the drummer, you know, goes back to Spinal Tap and beyond. Spontaneous combustion with the drummer. So Matt's okay, but he won't be back on Matt Connerton Unleashed in the afternoon. Maybe for some time. But you can enjoy Mac, and I might drop in tomorrow. You're always welcome. You can bore him with baseball.
That's what I'd have to do.
That's no excuse, Liz. Call in.
Call in.
Yes, Liz Rupp has been having problems with bats.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, the kids have been go by. She has one of those old, skinny garages like in Ward 2. You know, Ward 2, my aunt, great aunt, Agnes, had a house in Ward 1, the North End, the lovely North End, where they were built before there were cars. So you'll see they got alleyways in back.
Okay.
And the garages were like carriage houses or something. They're very skinny. So they've got these clapboards, and the kids, you know, you wouldn't think at this late in the season, you know, they're tearing off the siding for bats and stuff. But, you know, it might be one of those things, you know.
Yeah.
You know, kids, rubber tires. Oh, I didn't have steel rings and hoops. You must go back to the old days where, you know, people, because of the Great Depression, lived in barrels which were held together with loops. Did you ever, like, take a loop and a stick to amuse yourself?
Yeah, oh yeah, to roll it down the street with a stick.
Are you that old?
Fortunately, yes.
So you actually saw that? You always see it in old movies. And then you got the guy with a barrel. You know, he's got suspenders and he's got a barrel.
I remember when Grant was a cadet.
Jeez, oh. I'm starting to think I'm getting I remember John F. Kennedy, who had a feud with Jackie Robinson. Hey, let's see if we can call the Honorable Joel Elber. And we're going to talk about those Yankees and the Red Sox. Now, I know Joel's probably sunning on the beach to get that beautiful tan. Jeez, Mr. Bates. Yet another body part. It feels like something stabbed me.
I think it's 7:30. The sun's probably
Okay, you have
gone down.
hey, why don't you say something about the Yankees? Well, the shot of pain through my abdomen, I try to control. Have the camera on Mr. Baseball, and let's talk about the Yankees.
Okay.
Geez, I went to England, and what happened? All this the firepower and everything. These kids.
Holiday came back.
Back to him. Yep.
Castro came. Oh,
okay. Go ahead, Mr. Baseball.
Castro came back. Bird, and you're going to hear about that young man next year. He's going to be a beauty.
A beauty. I haven't heard. You're back in your childhood. Didn't they have some marbles were called beauties?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bogies too.
Bogies, and I bet you were the type of guy, being a Russian, half Russian, you actually had a ball bearing. And
Who are you calling?
we're calling Joel, and we're trying to get Elizabeth Ropp to call in. Baseball and the knee. Hey, what's our number here, Kirsten?
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 60.
60. Isn't this scintillating television, folks? You know, wait till tomorrow. You get to all the politics. 603 what, Kirsten?
603
Yeah.
640
640
3091.
3091. See, we don't see that on our monitor. You know, when you watch certain people like Chris Herbert, he looks at himself in the monitor. It looks like he's talking to somebody. But it's like I'm trying to teach you. There's the camera. It's better if you look at the camera instead of me. Remember when I was having a pre-senior moment? Were you here when I was arranging the cameras?
Yes.
Jeez.
You got a call.
It looked, I watched, Liz was here, Liz Rowe. That show looked damn good because I've been on movie sets and setting the cameras and the sight lines. We're all looking like, oh, you're over here and you're over there. You see the sides of our face. When, look at this lovely face, folks. I mean, Mac, not Mac, because Matt wasn't here, tried to raffle me off. We didn't get one call.
Didn't get a call.
Well, you weren't on the show where somebody called in and mentioned my legal woes.
No.
Yes. Here are my best pair of shoes. Can we zoom in on them? The shoe goop gave out after... Kirsten, are you there? We need the zoom. The shoe goop gave out.
Oh.
I think that's... I can't goop it anymore.
Well,
You look, Mr. Baseball. I'm allowing you. You're not on camera.
Yeah. I see.
Yes. John Hopwood. Who'd have thunk it, huh? When he was at West High School in 1977. Voted most likely to recede, which actually did happen.
Recede.
Yeah, I was at Ward 12 with Keith Hirschman, who went to he's a Republican. Who cares? And we were in the same homeroom from the 7th grade to the 12th. He was running against the Honorable Joel Elber. He came in first. He's been an alderman. Is it 2 terms? Not 1 term, but he's been an alderman before. Oh. And we were talking about what it's like. I have never been to a reunion. We had our 40th reunion. We were talking about what people look like. I said, Keith, I couldn't go. I don't recognize anybody. But Keith hasn't changed except maybe a little stouter, which afflicted me too. And his hair turned white. And we hadn't seen each other for many years. We saw each other 2013 or the 2015 election. And we're looking at John and Keith. I said, Keith, your hair's turned white. He says, your hair's gone. I used to have all this long blonde hair.
Well, I'm on my 50th class reunion in Bar Harbor.
Bar Harbor.
I was the only male in the class with hair.
Hi, who's calling?
Hi, Hoppy. It's Roppy. Am I on the air?
Roppy, welcome to the baseball show. We are talking about whether taking a knee during an NFL game is patriotic or not. Although we're actually talking about hair loss because we're 2 old men.
It is, in fact, patriotic to call out injustices and work to change them.
Robbie, I'm having pains in my chest, but thank God it's on the right. What do you think it is? Just gas? Mr. Baseball.
I don't know. Yeah, it could be gas. It could be anxiety. I don't know. Did you want me to call into your show to talk about taking a knee, or did you want free medical advice?
I think we need some acupuncture here. I think Mr. Baseball is setting records for time and all.
Well, I'm also taking a knee. I say take a knee. It is in fact patriotic. I know some of my friends might disagree with me, but no, we have the right to protest, and we should use our freedom of speech. And actually, there was a really good meme on the internet today. It was a picture saying, "This is why we stand," and it was somebody standing over the casket of someone who has been returned home from fighting in war. And then the caption says, "This is why we kneel," and it was a very tragic picture of Philander Castile after he had been shot by a police officer for no reason at all.
Who's that? Which one was that? Which area?
Philander Castile, he was shot in Minnesota, I believe. Philander Castile, he was just driving. I don't know why he was with his wife, and his daughter was in the back seat, and he told the officer, "Yes, I'm carrying a gun," because it was legal for him to carry a gun, and the officer shot him.
Yes, because having a gun in the car, I was taught, can be a death sentence. That's why you keep the gun somewhere in the state of New Hampshire. It had to have been out in the open. Although, that's the irony. The NRA, you have all these laws where you can carry a gun, which I don't think, the reason they had the laws about carrying a gun in a car,
so
you can get wasted.
Why the NRA isn't coming out and saying that police officers...
Oh, we're not talking, Roppy.
...who are carrying weapons legally.
We're talking...
It's all about allowing people to Mexico carry weapons lawfully and legally, why aren't they coming out and
This
saying
is a
all of
sports
this
show.
Police brutality and shooting of young black men is very wrong. Where's the NRA on this?
And I quit the NRA, and we're a sports show, and you've had your 2 minutes, kid. You can come on another time.
Win-win for the Kipper. Bye.
Bye. I'll just tell you about racial profiling and guns. In 1979, in the state of Tennessee, if you were young and had long blonde hair, and you were driving a 10-year-old Cadillac, well, you could get pulled over, and a state trooper could put a loaded .357 Magnum right against your temple. Because guess what? You matched the profile of a drug dealer.
Oh, for
A
goodness sake.
young white kid with long blonde hair driving an old Cadillac. That was a hell of a car, too. Boy, could that... The only word for it, and I don't know, Kirsten, you get the button ready, was that car could barrel ass. Jeez, ew. You ever go 100 miles in one of those old caddies? Feels like you're on ice. They wanted to go more than 100, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I wasn't going 100.
The old caddies, I loved them. I had two.
But I will just say my 2 cents worth, and then we'll go about kneeling, and we'll go talk some baseball like we should.
Yes.
I joined the United States Army in 1985 here in Manchester at the MEP station. MEPS. I can't really remember what that is. It's like the processing center. There's a line. You cross the line, you put your hand up, and you take an oath. The oath of enlistment, I could bring it up. I took an oath to defend the United States Constitution. There was no talk about a flag. There was no talk about the national anthem. I took an oath to defend the Constitution. The First Amendment is part of that Constitution. So I, as a soldier, and people in the military, defended the First Amendment. And that's what I believe. And I defended the right of those people to protest, of people like to counter-protest, as long as it's nonviolent, and of the Cheeto in the White House, La Grande Orange, which is actually putting down the great Rusty Staub, who,
Rusty Staub.
La Grande Orange when he was with the Montreal Expos. That was the name of him, the Great Orange, because he had the orange hair.
He had 500 hits with 4 different teams.
And he should be in the Hall of Fame, but he's borderline.
Now,
I wouldn't mind seeing it. I have a big Hall of Fame.
Now we're back to baseball.
Yes, so that's the First Amendment, folks. And if Cheeto had not actually done his time, like in a Naval Reserve unit that they have for the rich BITCHs in New York, where you can do your time and be patriotic, and that was always part of the social class of WASP. But of course, Cheeto really wasn't part of that class, was he?
I
WASP.
don't know.
No, he is a hustler.
A hustler.
One of the things you take in the oath of enlistment, you have to obey the orders of the commander-in-chief. Personally, I think Cheeto is not fit for it, but hey, better him than Pence. Hey, when I was away, he actually embraced Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Nancy Pelosi was my congresswoman. She was a freshman when I was I guess I was a freshman as a Californian.
Right.
But I couldn't. San Francisco was a little too weird for this guy, so I moved down near the airport, and I never did like Chuck Schumer.
No.
He's just bellows of hot air, you know. See, I'm of the left, but if you put me in power, God, talk about the Peter principle.
It would change.
I'd just be good as a senator, folks. If Senator Sheen ever decides to retire, and we have hey, I'll ask Roppy. She has a nice picture up on her Facebook page with Chris Sununu. Maybe if Gene Sheen gets tired, he can appoint me to the Senate. God knows I need a job. I could afford a good pair of shoes.
Yeah,
a real pair of shoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Yankees. They started getting hot after that. I never saw a game like I saw the game where 6 people got hit.
Yes, Detroit.
I mean, I've never saw worse umpiring except for Larry Barnett in the '75 World Series, Game 3, with Pudge Fisk
Yeah.
and Armbruster.
That was an interference. In my opinion.
The umpiring of that game between Detroit and the New York was shameful. It was so clearly against New York. And
Oh, yeah.
They're the evil empire to me, folks.
Yeah.
Although this new Buckethead Girardi's got this team, I call Girardi a buckethead.
Betances threw one pitch and happened to be inside and nicked the guy.
Right, and one of the last pitches that hit the guy, it seemed you could almost see that,
Yeah.
It was, but the umpires were treating the Yankees like they were satanic, and oh my God, that slob, who I won't even mention his name since he broke Yaz. Well, Yaz was the last person to win the Triple Crown till that slob did it.
Oh, Cabrera.
I mean, he started the fight.
Oh, he did. Yeah. Absolutely,
And then he's
he did.
whining. I'm whining about my batting average, and the new peds aren't working on me.
And then they throw Romine out for
I wish
defending himself.
I wish we had that. We could probably bring it up and watch it. But after that, because they threw Sanchez up, Mr. Pass Ball himself.
he took-
Mr. Pass Ball, how many dingers has he got now?
33. He
Jesus.
took a couple of cheap shots.
Oh,
I saw it.
it's a baseball fight.
I know.
He didn't hit anybody that didn't deserve it. And it's not like these guys, it's not George Foreman,
Yeah, true, but
And Jesus, remember, was it Rudy Popovich who got not remember when he got punched in the eye in the 70s and it's cracked his skull?
Greg Popovich, not Rudy.
Who was the guy that, remember? He was a
Yeah.
player and he got, somebody slugged them in the 70s.
That was he was on the Cubs, wasn't he?
I'm talking about basketball.
Oh, I know who you mean. Kermit Washington hit
Wasn't it Popovich?
Rudy.
And he broke the orbit. When you're 6'9" or 7 feet tall and you uncork a punch.
Rudy
It-
Tomovich. or
That's
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
It really, folks. I know what it's like to get hit in the face by somebody a foot taller than you. Although he wasn't a foot taller.
Well,
It's something about when they can snap that punch off their elbow and
he
boom.
turned around and just nailed him.
Yeah, and he almost lost his eye.
Yeah.
It was in hockey around that time. Somebody did lose an eye to a stick, but I don't think that was an NHL game.
No.
It had been AHL. Isn't it exciting? Football used to be exciting too. Very violent.
I don't follow it. I'm strictly a baseball.
You didn't
freak.
follow football back in the 60s?
I did. 50s.
Green
and
Bay
s-
Packers?
Well,
Vince
I was a
Lombardi?
Giants fan.
Well, that would be the late 50s. They were great in the 50s.
50s and 60s, I was a Giant fan. Then
I know nothing about them in the 60s because I was just a kid.
I don't think the Giants won anything in the 60s.
What happened to the New York Yankees football team?
New York Yankees football team. Oh, gosh, that goes way back, doesn't it?
Well, you go way back.
Yeah.
but Peter White.
I told you I don't follow football. that
Peter
much.
White of the morning show with Peter White and the Moose has a Wayback Machine. Nobody's supposed to know about it because that goes back to days in Amsterdam and all that.
Now everybody knows about it.
Well, maybe you could drop by and he'll put you in the Wayback Machine. We might not get you back. Maybe that's where Matt is.
I would only do it with baseball. I wouldn't do it with anything
If
else.
you could go in the Wayback Machine, I would go see. I think I'd go see Babe Ruth as a pitcher.
That'd be interesting.
When did he pitch the 17 and 18 World Series?
Yeah.
He did scoreless.
Not the 17, but
set
the
a
18.
record for scoreless innings pitched, 32. That 1961.
No, back up. 29, broken by
Oh no, it was Babe Ruth that had the
29 and a third. Sherrod Smith had 29. Sherrod Smith is my wife's great uncle. So Ruth,
hardly a time. When in World War II at Guadalcanal, I don't think the Japanese were yelling to the Marines, expletive deleted, Sherrod Smith, or whatever the guy's name was. They were saying at Guadalcanal in 1942 and 43 to the Marines, expletive deleted Babe Ruth.
oh,
Because,
yeah.
the Japanese love baseball.
Well, he toured Japan.
He was the biggest name in baseball
Yeah.
ever and ever will be.
Yeah, he made baseball in Japan.
I would like, first I would take Peter White's Wayback Machine from the Amsterdam days, wherever it is, if I don't have to go find Matt Connerton, and in the old Prometheans or whatever. First, I'd go back to the Balco, which was right near where I used to live, which was also near a bunch of cat houses where, like Jerry Rice said, he's just getting a deep tissue massage when the cops picked everybody up. Now, the guy running for district attorney of San Francisco County, the voters didn't buy that explanation. But so you go to Balco. I wouldn't be going into those cat houses, though. Got lined 101. Pick up some of that grape juice. Go back to 1918. And how would you get the Babe to take it, though? I guess it was injected, right? And Babe was strictly beer and scotch, man, right?
And hot dogs.
And there we go.
Cigars.
Injected the hot dog. I don't know how we would have. The way he's gone with, eating 12 hot dogs before a game, you could, after a couple of weeks, it's got to take effect, right?
Yeah.
I'll just bring a vat of the stuff from Balco. And then we'll see, instead of him, I'm also I'd have to take a lot of cash to buy that contract, but where would I get my hands on the old horse blanket stuff, And we don't want him to go to the Yankees roided out. It's just I give up on that scenario because the Yankees would get him anyway. And in 1920, instead of hitting 29 dingers, he'd hit 70 or 80. 50. And by 2070, he'd be hitting 100.
Oh, yeah, with steroids, yeah.
A Balco Pets. Balco Pets.
Oh, okay.
I hate to talk about the Yankees, but I have to say this is an exciting Yankees team. And I can say that, folks, because the Red Sox just keep winning.
They are. They're playing very good baseball.
And they're winning in the late innings, but so are the Yankees, aren't they?
Not as much as the Red Sox. The Red Sox seem to pull out everything.
David Price, $33 million in the bullpen. You never saw Goose Gossage with he was very well paid, Goose.
Oh, he would, and today he'd be.
But not $33 million.
No, but he'd be up there.
Hey, is CC going to come back? Are they going to give him a contract? How's he doing, CC?
He's 13-5, but like yesterday, he's always going to have that one inning where he gets bombed. And
what was it, the sixth or something? Around the sixth?
It was in the sixth.
It's the sixth inning. He'll give you the 5 innings of the old season.
Actually, I think it was the seventh, but he didn't get out of the seventh.
Right.
Yeah, so 2 home runs and with a runner on, 1. And then, of course, the Yankees had Chad Green, who I think is one of the best in baseball.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a superstar.
Well, explain who Chad Green is down to the folks at Billy's Sports Bar.
He's a relief pitcher.
Yes.
Who...
He's their closer now, though. Right? Or are they still...
Chapman's still the closer.
So Chapman's the closer.
Yeah.
Because remember, in the beginning, they were moving them around.
Yes. And now Betances is the one that's...
I can't talk about Chapman, by the way. That's an inside joke.
Oh, really?
Yes. Known to very few people.
Oh, well. Yeah, even I don't know.
No.
But Betances is not doing well right now, so they've got to... And I thought they'd bring him in the 9th yesterday, give him the work, give him a little courage, and get his ego back. But they didn't bring him in. The Yanks won 8-3. And we know about Mr. Judge, don't we?
Yes, it's an exciting new era of Peds.
I don't think they'd get away with Peds today.
My friend John McGee, who hasn't called in the show because he actually is a respectable politician, and I remember something about him that, now that I have holes in my shoes, I might have to use against him should he run for Congress again.
Uh-huh.
Not that I would ever do that. But John was saying that Judge and this young stud, Sanchez, when he's not passing balls or experiencing wild pitches, they have now more. Do they have more dingers? They're on a pace more dingers than the 2 guys.
No, but
the M&M boys, or is it something about slugging? They're more higher.
That could be.
There was something. They've got more because it's certainly not RBI. In the RBI department, judges like Mickey Mantle not.
Marison Mantle hold the record.
Right, which would be 113.
161 and 54.
61 and 50. Oh, 54. It was 52, I thought.
No, that was in his Triple Crown year 56.
So it's not that, but it was something. I told John to call in, but he's on vacation. I think he's in the Bahamas.
Nice.
Why he wouldn't want to call in the baseball show and talk to me, I don't know. But they've done something the M&Ms didn't, and I said, yeah, and it's exciting. They've actually probably done more PEDs than Teixeira and A-Rod at their height.
Yeah. I don't know if Teixeira was on PEDs.
Oh, come on, with all those injuries. Even my friend Tom Massengale would admit to that, say he did.
Well, I know that Giambi was, but I don't know about Teixeira. He seemed to be a good guy.
Come on. Just being a good guy doesn't mean you can't take PEDs.
How do you just assume they took PEDs?
There was the report, but Teixeira wasn't caught in that one. And we won't mention a Red Sox player that
Big Poppy?
I didn't hear a word you said. I'm going to have to gag him.
Manny Ramirez?
Never heard of him. And you can come out with these revelations on your show. We'll reveal the Yankees on my show. In fact, we have a call out to George Mitchell to investigate this. The fact is, I'm just kidding.
A Mainer.
If you go to a co-owner of the Red Sox when he wrote the report. Yes, PEDs. The central place for PEDs is New York, where Jerry Remy's son was one of the big PEDs. He didn't find out about that in his report.
No,
but
it wasn't supposed to be released, but it was, and it was totally unfair.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They nailed A-Rod on that.
And it's not like A-Rod didn't get nailed later on, right?
Yeah. Bulk, whatever that company. Was.
Later on, after everybody's been ruined the career, Dummy does it again. He used to travel with his own PEDs dealer, Mr. Baseball, until the Steinbrenners banned the guy. So he just from the Yankee Stadium. But we're not going to go there. It was just I was just joshing.
It was an era.
If you go to the new Yankee Stadium, which I will be, October 1st.
You're going to there?
Oh yeah, it is a bandbox.
Well, wait a minute. What's October 1st?
Some teams play. I either can go then or in the playoffs.
The playoffs are October 3rd. The playoff with Minnesota.
I guess I'm going to a game on October 1st. With me.
I don't think
with my memory, it could be October 21st. I don't know.
Is that the last day of the week, Sunday?
I don't know, but we only have a few more minutes, and you're not letting me get off my snappy comment. I was just kidding about PEDs. If you go to the new Yankee, it is a launching pad. It is. It's not the Metrodome.
Oh, you mean the stadium?
Yeah, the new Yankee Stadium.
Oh, yeah,
Yankee. It's actually said Yankee 4 because the different times.
They're hitting them out everywhere.
Yes, I think we have a commissioner that is friendly to PEDs, don't you think?
It could be. But this kid Seager on the Dodgers, now he just broke the National League record for home runs by a rookie with 39. Broke Wally Berger's and Frank Robinson's record.
Well, Frank Robinson, it was his record, yeah.
And Wally Berger, the National
What did
League.
Ted Williams hit as a rookie?
I think 29. I'm not positive, though. But he had he had a lot of ribbies his first year.
I call lots of home runs slob ball, but it's exciting to see the Yankees in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Without the Yankees in the playoffs, as much as I'd like to see the Yankees and the Red Sox in the ALCS, but I don't think anybody's getting through Cleveland.
I don't either.
And Houston's going to be a tough.
Yeah.
But the Red Sox are playing them the last games of the season.
Yeah, the Yankees, that guy Keuchel, he owns the Yankees, and if he gets 2 starts, they're going to win 3 out of 5.
But you never know. It's baseball.
We
got one caller. We don't have much time. You get, I guess, a minute or so. Hi.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
This is Cruiser and Mary. Hey, I got a question for you guys. When was the last time Ted Williams was up in Loudon, New Hampshire?
There you go.
Up in Loudon, New Hampshire as a visitor?
Yeah.
1998.
Nope.
How would I know?
It was known as New Hampshire International Speedway back then. And who was the car that he sponsored and the driver?
Was this the Toyota, or when they had the Toyota races?
No.
No, before the Toyota.
Well, we're not going to get it, but you can call us in next week because we are going to have the baseball show next week. That will give us,
Okay.
unless you want to give it now. That's going to be tough.
I wouldn't know. I don't even. Why would I have that in my memory bank?
There's no need.
When was Gene Autry?
Number 9.
When
Number
was Gene
9.
Autry?
driver he sponsored was Kenny White Jr., and it was back in July 10th and 11th of 1999.
Oh, it's off a year. Thank you so much. We only got 1 minute
I
left.
even got Ted Williams' autograph on this card.
Well, call in next week.
Alrighty.
Call in earlier. Okay, we're going to be talking about the
All right.
'67 Red Sox.
We'll throw
Thank
you a Ted
Bye.
Williams. We'll throw you a Ted Williams trivia
I
question.
guess that's it, Mr. Baseball. We were pretty rusty.
Yeah, we'll
You're
get it back.
sweating. I'm wondering if we're going to go, both of us off to the hospital. But it is hot in there.
Yeah, well, it's hot in here.
Well, when you have Matt Connerton and the old Prometheans, you're playing with fire. See you next week, folks. The '67 Impossible Dream Show with the Honorable Joel Elber. You're going to have to call in another time, folks, because we're at the end of our rope.
Cindy, pour my beer.
Adios. Au revoir. Avida Vane, as they said on what show?
Play ball!